boys. I'm gonna try to be closer to the mic because obviously I have a problem. God damn, that's loud.
Get
Hello?
close.
All right, whatever. Dude, that's the most championship goal we've ever had in studio. We've had other champions in studio, for whatever reason, didn't bring belts. That's fine.
That's kind of wild.
But I think you're the first Island Fights, reigning champ we've had on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. You got to bring the belt, right? You got to show up with the hardware if you're gonna go to war and try and get
That's
it.
crazy. That's official.
Too,
You want to pass that around? I want to feel it.
Yeah,
Bro, I was
What's up
just
with
doing
that?
that. It's so cool, bro.
It's,
Isn't that
it's
sacrilegious,
out,
though? You're not allowed to touch it before you become the champion?
No, that's
No,
the
it's-
welterweight belt.
Yeah.
Oh, word. What are you weighing for your fights?
One was gonna go to 125, but I'm just gonna stick to 135.
Word. Dude, got
That
that.
thing's got some beef on it, don't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little girthy.
Better than our rugs. On the back?
You ain't lying.
They put
That's
on my
nice,
put on
dude.
my waist at the event, and it was so loose it kept falling off. I was like, "Damn, this thing's kind of heavy."
Is that one of the insecurities, or I think if I were to become champion, one of the things I'd be thinking in my head is don't give me the belt weird.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Put it on me. If you're gonna put it on me, put that. I'd rather
that
it be
shit
too
on.
tight than too loose and it fall
Yeah.
off.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I kept if it would fall off, and I'd have to step in it pants, so it felt really kind of demoralizing to put the belt on.
And then it probably looks
pants, but-
weird to try to no, I got it. No, it's
No,
somebody
but
help me.
It worked. They got the picture. I think the over the shoulder is the way to do it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think so.
mean,
Yeah.
it's too clean with it over the shoulder. But yeah, that was a good fight. We both fought. That was August 19th, or no, January 19th, and I think Remedy we pulled up again and showed out, which it's good because I feel like our gym and the class of guys we're coming up with right now is super exciting.
I hear things, dude.
Yeah, I've been there since I was 15, dude, and it's now I feel like everyone that's on the fight team is they're all ready to go, and they're all we're all good now.
Yeah, it's a crop of young dudes and athletes because it's catching on. The sport's catching on. So, I mean, there'll be Monday classes where it feels like we got 40 athletic guys that are all coming in saying, "Hey, we want to fight," and it's cool to see this area kind of come up in that aspect. Especially, I mean, same as him. I joined Team Remedy at 15, and I mean, it's exploded. We were next to a little tattoo shop.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen you all around in there time to time too. And, I mean, you can tell how much it's on the come up. So I think it's a cool thing to be part of in Island Fights, top tier. I mean, I amateur fights. I feel like you see a lot of guys fighting in a bowling alley in front of 30 people. And the realness that comes with the event, I think it really prepares you to make that next level jump. Because it's not, it's not like a wrestling tournament or a karate tournament. It kind of really feels like a true event. They put the optic into it. They put the effort into it. So I think it's an amazing coincidence that we have a great gym coming up with a great promotion. So I think it's going to be sweet to see the fighters coming out of Pensacola.
Everything's peaking at the same time. I remember, I think it had to be early last year, or maybe it was mid last year, when Cam did the main event, his first main event, and they had just gotten the big overhead thing redone.
Jumbotron thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, that's wild. And they were debuting it on that event.
Yeah.
That's the craziest thing is going up there and looking, and like he said, all the other amateur shows. I mean, there's nowhere near this much professionalism.
Yeah.
And I fought at an exhibition in Crestview the first time when you saw me, and it's this is I mean, for guys like John who are about to go pro in a few fights, I mean, it couldn't be any better for him.
Yeah.
I mean, you look I'm on Instagram, I'll get pro fight highlights, and some of them are just, I mean, they got 50 people in attendance. So I think the pleasure that we get to go out in front of a couple thousand people every time and have that platform, it's been pretty amazing nonetheless. But I'm excited to see where it goes, and I feel like I'm one of the first people in a while that's had the belt and is from the area. I grew up here. I went to the beach. I am from Pensacola. I'm from Pace, and so I have the belt here. And I think you see guys like SD and other people, Brock, that have left and went to the UFC from this area. But I think I want to establish the next wave of people that are going to come from this area and put Pensacola on the map, MMA-wise. I mean, we already got Roy Jones, but I think it's time that we establish this area, especially with the jiu-jitsu that's coming up. The wrestling in the high schools is crazy, so I think it's a small slept-on town, but it's cool to see what's in the water and everybody kind of blowing up all of a sudden.
There's something to it when, to compare it to another sport, running, they thought it was undoable to break the 5-minute mile.
Yeah.
Now there's hundreds of people that have done it. And every time somebody does it, somebody beats it by a few seconds. And I think they've gotten it down to like 350 something.
Yeah. No way. For a mile?
For a mile.
Dude.
People running like crazy. But the point of it is like, I think it's going to happen a lot more frequently now that people are making it to the UFC or Bellator or like these huge shows that can change people's lives, change their families' lives. And I think because you see somebody in the local area do it, you're like, oh, and it also provides like the insight of the people who recruit them people. So like maybe the managers or the fight promoters, they're like, oh, there is talent there. They start looking harder. You guys start showing out at the same time. Yeah. It's like y'all probably have an easier way than people before you, just because people didn't know to look here, and then it's like they got to do crazy things. Like
and I think if you're a promoter and come to one of those Island Fight shows and see like, holy shit, there's however many thousand people from Pensacola out here supporting.
Yeah, it's an event in town.
Yeah, I mean it's
kind of like a Texas football game, like the town more or less. That's where they're at.
Yeah.
At an Island Fights. That's where they go.
And it's a city event. People pull up. They're dressed in their nicest clothes. Yeah. Some of them. The tables are all full.
That's always a cool
the table.
thing,
some of them are pulled out from sponsors. Like
a
whole sponsor will buy a whole table.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn.
Yeah.
It's
pretty sweet though, seeing everybody like you said, kind of dressed up like this is like the Saturday night shit. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know. To me, it ties in like the gladiator days. It's a celebration.
Yeah.
This is small scale. It's amateur, but like they're going out there trying to fight. And I love that the area gives it its flowers and gives it its respect and shows up and like they bring the energy. I mean, when I walked out for my last fight there, and just the energy in the crowd, people were waiting for a main event, and I could feel it. And I mean, I've really only ever fought home games, so. This one was special, walking out last and hearing everybody kind of pick the noise up every time we hit each other. That it felt like everybody was in the fight. So it was cool that we get our respect and people understand that like what martial arts is. I mean, I used to have to be like, I do MMA. It's mixed martial arts.
They're like, oh, UFC.
Yeah, that.
You're like, okay,
yeah. But I'm excited to see it continue to flourish. And just to what you said, like people have paved the way for us, and like that's where I'm at right now. I want to have a level of success where I can pave the way for other people. I mean, I was just the other day, I went back and I watched UFC 1, and then the next day I watched UFC 2, and you see how much just the sport's evolving. I don't know if y'all watched the fights the other night, the calf kicks. Like every fight had calf kicks, and how quickly the game adapts. Everybody gets better, and all the boats rise. So it's amazing to see. I think there's amateur guys in these local promotions that would have performed well in some of the first UFCs with their base level of skill all across the board. So it's like amateurs. Some amateurs are looking like pros, and just this next group of guys that are just in it because they grew up loving it. That's going to be super crazy. You know?
What's crazy too is like, maybe people's bodies don't perform like they used to, like for example like a coach, but their brain has picked up the game and seen how it can evolve, so they're able to give you the knowledge that your body doesn't know yet, so you learn it faster than they did because they had to go through that. So, and y'all are like next level athletes. Y'all are evolving everything. I mean, you come from a wrestling background, correct?
Yes, sir.
What is your background?
Striking.
I mean, still.
Yeah, I mean, I came from, I started wrestling at 11 years old. I found Reggie Allen, you've probably heard the name around. He just has a passion for teaching wrestling. It's unreal. We're one of the luckiest areas in Florida to have this guy. He knows how to take a kid from 4 or 5 years old and build a state champion wrestler. Now, I didn't get that full course. I came in at 11 years old, and he tricked me into getting in the mat because I was so afraid of it. And eventually I went on to be his captain of his team when he came back to Pace. And just the level that he can take people who don't understand wrestling, make them feel comfortable and willing to try wrestling. Because in the South, I mean, we aren't big on wrestling down here. In comparison.
It's not in every school like it is up north, it seems like.
And that's the amazing thing about this area. He's from Milton. I'm from Pace. Tate's got some good wrestling.
Oh, by the way, just the shout out because my niece is on the weightlifting team. Pace girls weightlifting team just won state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy as a team. A bunch of them individually won
Shout
as
out
well.
Pace Wrestling. Shout out Pace Wrestling.
Did
Oh,
they-
no, sorry, weightlifting.
Weightlifting,
girls
yeah.
weightlifting.
Yeah, I saw that Cam's little
Cam's
sister got
Yeah.
the gold, and that's cool. And I think anybody that's a high school athlete, you're dreaming of that state level, that state competition where the lights are on. So that's awesome to see Pace is coming up in more than one area.
Yeah.
But like when I went to states my junior year, and just the biggest thing was all the attention. The mat's in the middle of the room. There's tons of people watching, and to kind of tie it back in. That's what Island Fights brings. It's like that. It's a little different amount of pressure, like wrestling in a mat room, a lunch room, than wrestling in a stadium for the first time. But it's cool to see the coaches in the area kind of bring this area up. I mean, we're big on football. I'm not a big football fan, but everybody down here is big on football, and they're
You don't even watch it?
Don't watch it.
Not
No.
even.
Damn, I was going to ask you how you feel about the game.
I watched it because my sister was watching it, and my girlfriend, we went and just kept my sister company. So I pay attention. I'll look here and
What
there.
game did y'all go to?
Oh, no, I watched the Super Bowl.
Oh, word.
What game were you talking about?
College.
Oh, no.
I love
no
college
college.
football.
Yeah.
Big college football fans.
Big
He's a little
college
hurt,
football
but that's
Really?
fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also hurt. I think we lost more this offseason than you lost.
Oh yeah, seeing Jar Saban.
Yeah, we lost Nick Saban. That's my team, Alabama.
So
He's
Alabama,
FSU.
FSU, okay.
So, like, they lost out on the playoffs, I guess, and we lost out probably forever now.
Yeah.
No big
we
deal.
are.
But
It's gonna be
No,
tough. It's gonna be tough filling those.
how did you avoid, like, liking
Yeah, how
football?
did you-
I,
in the
in the
South.
South.
I played football, so like I
Ah.
liked football. I thought it was cool when I played it, but I played like 3-4 years and then I just stopped. I switched to baseball. I played other sports, but I love playing baseball, but I don't watch baseball. Like to me,
Do you watch MMA?
I watch MMA. Yeah,
So you're, like,
that's
full
what I
in on
watch.
MMA.
That's my area for sure. I'll pick some other things, but like if I watch a basketball game and it's like the most intense point is like somebody shoves somebody, I just love to
Yeah.
cut to the chase. You know, like the fight is
You're watching all other sports for a fight. You're like,
Yeah,
I hope
yeah.
this tennis match
You watch
was
hockey
fucking-
for the
goes to
fights.
hockey, yeah.
Hawk the
NASCAR.
ball, bro. Hawk it.
Yeah.
NASCAR
Yeah.
for the crashes. People like a spectacle. So
Yeah.
But I mean, I respect the other sports. I'll watch them like as a friend. People like, but I don't follow
Yeah.
it the way some people do. And I'm impressed. I mean, I know people can like rattle off stats about college
Yeah.
football, and
Yeah.
that's impressive to me. That the love of the game, but it goes right over my head
Yeah. They could just be making some stuff up.
for sure.
You know, like the U.S. Open last year made 3 touchdowns. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say sounds about right. Yeah,
Yeah.
good for them.
Is there anything you guys are into that would maybe sound weird to someone else that didn't know? Like seeing you guys
speaking
fight.
about high school sports, bro, like I didn't have any traditional I did like lacrosse. You know what lacrosse
Oh,
is?
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like really like not being boastful, but like I decided to be good at like kickboxing in this sport no one knew, like lacrosse. So
Yeah.
that was like when y'all were talking about high school sports, I was like that was like I wish that could get way bigger around this area. I mean that sport is so cool. Like
It
That's bigger
looks
up north, isn't
fun.
it?
yeah, way
Yeah.
bigger up north in like Maryland and
Yeah.
like New York, those like East Coast.
Yeah.
I unfortunately only know about Duke lacrosse.
Why is that?
They had
Because
scandal.
yeah, the guys.
Oh.
Which didn't they end up being not
I don't
true?
remember. I don't think it was true though.
Yeah. Some girls claimed the whole team raped her.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, tight shots.
my bad.
Edit that out.
I didn't mean.
Well, I mean, it's
yeah. I will
no,
bleep
but
it.
it's like the truth. Like that's what happened. But I don't think it was ever true. I don't.
I'm pretty sure they
yeah, I
cleared
shouldn't say
them.
that.
Yeah.
But they did like now everybody knows Duke
Oh,
lacrosse
okay.
for that reason. They're like, oh.
Do they recover from that? It's a pretty tough thing to come
I
back
know.
I mean, look at us.
But Duke lacrosse
I don't
is
know.
really good though.
Yeah.
Hey, but everybody loves Penn State now too. Like
Yeah.
they're back on the map, and they had some
That's-
of the
very true.
was it
That's true.
Sandusky and the
Yeah.
coaches and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Well,
hey.
Michigan
Well, he
won the national
also
championship this year.
Passed away.
Oh, okay. So it's
He passed away as soon as basically he quit. He's like, yo, I'm
Penn
all the
State
way out.
The
convenient
only
timing.
thing that was keeping him alive.
Yeah, he's like, that was really my life.
Yeah.
That's tough, dude.
How long do you think Nick Saban's got now that he's retired?
Oh, yeah, but he didn't do no weird shit like
yeah,
that.
but I mean, just as a. That's all.
Oh, I
he's ever
think
done.
he's about to ball out on game day. You seen they're trying to offer him
I
a bag?
did see that. Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, he's going to become like the Tony Romo of game day. Tony Romo is, I mean, you don't watch football. Do you watch football?
No.
I don't watch NFL, but when you hear Tony Romo call a game, he can call like as soon as the play sets before they hike the ball. He can tell you where the ball's going.
Yeah.
And if it's going to be caught, basically, you're like, is this dude reading into the future?
It's a script, dude.
Like, he has a
He's got the
10-second
script.
clock ahead of time.
Yeah.
But he knows, and he can read it better than anyone. It's weird he didn't play better.
That'd be right. Yeah.
So with Saban, I saw, so as somebody who's kind of removed from it, people were like posting all over Instagram saying he wants to run for president. Is that true, or is that just?
I
is that
haven't
just
heard
hearsay?
anything about that, but
No,
we would
that
be
was
honored
probably-
to have him. Okay.
I was clicking on stories and they were like saying he wanted to run for
Saban
president. And I was like,
2024.
damn, that's quite the jump, but I could see it playing
Alabama
out.
football coach, the president of the United
Hey,
States.
imagine he leaves Alabama for the United States of
Oh,
America.
dude.
No, that's an American hero. If he
Yeah,
goes
for
and-
real.
Imagine if the world or America started running like the Alabama football team. We just started
God.
winning world wars that we ain't even
National
in.
champs, dude. National champs.
You know,
He'd have such an easy battle too, because you just
Yeah.
gotta walk in and do something. And
Yeah.
he would just have a football team. Like he'd run the army or whatever, like a football team. He'd go to Russia and be like, "All right, now," and they'd be like,
You
"You
don't want to
good?"
fuck with this offense, bro.
Yeah, we're good.
I mean, he's got to know a thing or two about tactics. I think tactics
Dude.
in sports are applicable to life and many other arenas. So,
Yeah.
hey, at least he's got something. And
Yeah.
yeah, I saw that and I was
Saving
like, I'd be
2024,
impressed,
baby.
but I also wouldn't be shocked if something like that happened. You know how things
See,
are
and you know
nowadays.
what's wild is it would be a pay cut.
Really?
Nick
Oh,
Saban
dude.
gets like
Yeah.
$10 million a
Well,
year,
the
and the
president.
United States
From-
president only gets like $250,000 a year.
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
get
But
their
it's-
paybacks later.
Yeah, it's
on.
all.
I'm just
from-
saying, like, he wouldn't be doing it for the money.
No.
No.
He'd just be like, "Y'all need this.
Yeah.
I've seen America.
Yeah.
I've played everywhere."
I mean, shit. If you've been making $10 million a year or whatever, and then you go save America, little Alabama boy,
Yeah.
simple life. I mean, you win that
I think
game.
you're good. Yeah.
That's
I
that
think
that
you're
would
pretty
be a
set.
crazy thing. I think we could use his brain on it.
Yeah.
Just just like
How old is he?
a lot younger than the president.
No, I know. I'm just saying, how
Like
old
by
is he
30
now?
years,
By
I
a
think.
whole person.
I
yeah.
think he's like 68, 70, something like that.
Wow.
No, he's older than that. He's like almost
Nick
late.
Saban?
Saban.
I think
Google
so.
it. I'm pretty sure he's early 70s.
I thought he was like
No
78,
way.
bro.
I
Yeah.
see pictures of him. He doesn't look that old.
I'm pretty
Yeah, he
sure.
doesn't look that old.
Because I think when
I
he
think
started
so.
in Alabama, he was like 52?
Oh, wow.
72.
72.
Oh, shit.
And then I think
1951.
Biden is like 80 something, which is insane.
Yeah, no.
Crazy.
My grandparents didn't even, none of them lived to 80 something.
81.
My grandfather's 83 right now, and like to imagine trying to put him into a position where
Just
he
show
would
him
have
an
to
app on a phone.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, yeah, hand him a phone. Period.
Yeah. No.
I'm not political. This sounds like we're getting
No, it's
political,
good. No.
Yeah.
but it's so funny to watch like compilations of Biden after he does a speech where he's walking
Yeah,
and then he
trying to
walks somewhere
find
and he
the
just
exit.
freezes. He's just like,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm not political too much either, but it's like some of the things now, it's like a South Park episode.
Yeah.
It's so over the top.
you're like, this
It's
can't be
wild.
It's
real.
like, who wrote this, man?
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's also coming up. Just seeing things on the internet. I partake in social media, so I have an Instagram, and just seeing the things that like happen in society nowadays through that lens it's
Yeah.
crazy. I don't know. And I could definitely see something like Nick Saban stepping up, president run, but
That'd be sick. Instead of red, white, and blue, it's crimson, white, and blue.
God.
Just saying, dude. It's right there. We already bleed red. All of us do.
Yeah, that's true. He's not wrong.
You know?
He's
But
not wrong.
I mean, I think that the value of a coach like that, like a person who really knows their game,
Dude.
we're lucky enough to have Ben Sealy, and he's
Yeah,
older
Ben
too.
is awesome.
He can't fight, but like he's got that mind.
Yeah.
His body's he's been through the ringer. He was fighting in like the 90s and the early 2000s when it was like underground level. You know, it wasn't half as propped up as it is today. And I think we're so fortunate to have run into him because he's a perfectionist at like simple, efficient American kickboxing.
Yeah.
And people that come in and do a class with him are always usually pretty impressed. So, I mean, the value of a coach like that and being lucky enough to like get to play for a person like that or learn from a person like that, it's a blessing really to be able to have that instruction from someone.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure, the biggest thing in sports is having a good coach. Like
Yeah.
any sport, wrestling, football, probably, and then like any sport you play, even fighting, especially fighting. You can't have someone that doesn't know how to push you. And
I
then
mean,
you
look
get to
what
fight.
I don't want to say this in a bad way because God bless his soul, but Volk, he had Zuckerberg in the corner. What
Yeah.
is going on there?
Was he
They didn't
actually in
even
the
hand him
corner?
a shirt.
Yeah.
They were
he was
like,
in
he
there.
was like, oh no, Nobody wanted to hand him anything.
It was uncomfortable, and
I feel like him as a human being is uncomfortable.
He's a lizard robot. He ain't a human.
Have you ever seen the Sweet Baby Ray's video?
No.
What?
Oh, dude, you haven't seen this either?
No.
Pull it up.
Dude,
Also,
it's insane.
last thing about the Saban thing.
we're
Saban
still
president.
talking about Saban,
Hold on.
okay.
Saban president. Belichick hasn't been picked up either. Vice president.
They might kill
They
each
would-
other though.
No, they're boys.
Are they?
Yes, they are boys.
Maybe, dude.
Anyways,
Back to
dude,
Sweet
he's
Baby Rays.
absolutely a lizard robot, dude.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm
There
surprised he hasn't
there
licked
was
his own eyeball on camera yet.
There was a video of him like right when the pandemic started, and he did like a Facebook Live, right, to show everybody like how cool he is
like-
and how he's a community person and all this
Yeah.
shit. And he's like smoking pork butts or something, and he's talking about Sweet Baby Ray's like it is Jesus
Oh,
Christ
I remember
himself.
that. Okay, I do.
And he's
remember
talking
that.
about he says it like 15 times
Yeah.
in a matter of a minute and a half.
I remember
it is the
people
wildest
made fun
shit.
of him for that. Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, it was.
We gotta watch this first.
Yeah,
then.
it's
well,
Mark's
like,
and
have you seen the videos of him and the
Mark
BJJ
Zuckerberg,
guy,
Sweet Baby
Musumeci? Mike
Oh, yeah,
Musumeci?
yeah.
Like they're always training together and
Yeah.
things like that. Which
Mikey
those two,
Musumeci, too, is just an interesting
dude, he
dude.
has like weird eyes.
It's all weird.
He looks like he has no whites. It's just all
Oh,
one
yeah, this-
color, like he's an alien.
that's a pretty tough filter. I don't. He looks real pasty
That
there,
was-
bro.
Dude, have
Yeah.
you guys seen the new?
That was recorded with an apple.
This without
Dude, the
noise
edits
is
are
nightmare
terrible.
fuel. Yeah, that's a no go from me.
Have you guys seen the
Apple Vision
with
Pro.
Lex Friedman? He did the thing with Mark Zuckerberg, and it's like he's not actually there.
Oh yeah, it was like the VR thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it's so good. Like
No, it's
It
good.
looks
it's actually really, really good.
because it picks up their face movements.
Yeah,
too,
and-
when-
but
where their eyes
it's
are
like
looking.
this, but he's not. It's actually better looking than this. I don't know what it would be called. What is it,
Yeah.
Meta or something? Maybe.
Yeah,
I thought you were
most
talking about the
likely.
Apple Vision Pro things.
The
Those are-
goggles.
those are
This was
insane,
before
too.
the goggles dropped, but
Then it
it was
must have
like
been Meta.
Lex doing a podcast with him, but they weren't in a studio. They were doing it over VR.
It had to be Meta. That's like the
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be, but would it be literally called Meta?
Yeah, or like the
Lex Friedman, Mark Zuckerberg podcast Meta?
Meta question mark.
I think that was the one that. Why the fuck did that empty like that?
which the VR
Mark Zuckerberg, Lex Friedman podcast?
VR is already crazy. But have y'all seen like those AI podcasts where they'll use like the voice chat GPT to create the prompts and then the two
Oh,
people.
what?
So they have like Joe Rogan talking to random people and they can make a
Deleting.
whole
I see what
artificial.
you know. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have seen some of that. I've seen a lot of people use that as like sponsorship videos or something where
Yeah,
they're trying to
yeah.
promote something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you're like scrolling through and it's like Joe Rogan's
Yeah.
voice promoting it, and you're like, that's not
creepy. It's
Yeah,
crazy how
that's
close
not-
it is.
That's not really him.
Oh yeah, this is that Frostbite
None of that is
engine.
real.
Bro, what?
That's all AI right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
That's
You can
insane.
see-
But look how good it looks.
Well,
Yeah, some of the new. I think it's the Frostbite engine. They're calling like they made a new Matrix game in VR, and it's close to indiscernible from real life. Like
Really?
there's dust
Fucking
and
crazy.
dust.
Now
and,
explain to us what that word means. Indiscernible.
Indiscernible.
Oh.
You said dust?
Yeah.
We're on different reading levels.
Not you.
like you can't tell the difference.
Oh, word.
And it looks like real life, like fire effects and smoke and
Yeah.
things like that.
Like if
to a new level.
someone were to have showed you this video and not said anything
No,
about it
I'd
not
have thought
being
it was
real,
just him standing in a white
yeah,
room.
you would have no idea. You'd just be like, man, he's a little pasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he is actually a little pasty in
I
real
think,
life.
Yeah, I think I left my contacts out, but other than that, I would assume it's a real person.
Like, are those the Apple ones
Those
before
are-
they were made?
Those are AR, so like
His is a little more
That looks a
noticeable.
little faker.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's because I think the black
lighting is
background.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it's right on top of him.
Mhm.
But it's
That
crazy.
is fucking
Yeah,
ridiculous.
no, it's gonna be crazy when everything can
Bro.
just kind of get produced straight in front of
Yeah.
you. Like the algorithm can just produce what you want to see, and you. Can
We're
be in the game.
basically, like, they're already faking, like, Joe Rogan ads.
Yeah, it's gonna.
That's
be
right. Yeah, that's what we
They're,
were just talking
and they're
about.
not even great.
No.
He'll be like, my daughter
Yeah.
Yeah.
got broken into from a Russian lab bear.
Yeah.
It's like, a lab bear? What's a lab bear?
Do y'all like Kanye West at all?
I respect him.
Okay, that's fine. So, like, have you heard the AI music they release now?
Oh yeah.
So there's Kanye Western, and they have like Kanye singing.
Dude, hey,
old country
Saban,
songs.
our buddy Saban Kura, he's a boxer in the area.
Yeah.
He's like mad about him, and he'll send me the Kanye Western
Yeah.
remakes, and they're good.
No, they're good. Like some of my girlfriend's songs, she listens to them, and I don't want to listen to that version. I'll put on the Kanye Western version and vibe to it. But I'm a big Kanye fan, so I'm a little biased. But at the same rate, I just say like the correlation between the AI and then this VR stuff is gonna go crazy. When just everything, you can't tell if it's real or fake. And I think, I don't know, I'm big into that sort of topic, but I think we're getting so close to it.
So what do you think? What do you think the next step is in humanity? Do you think you're learning how to fight for no reason?
Oh no, I think.
Like, do you think it's that fast?
I think
within our lifespan for sure.
So do you think people are gonna look at you like
outdated?
Like you're a Neanderthal versus like what is out then?
How could you? Do y'all play around with ChatGPT or anything like that?
No, I don't even know how to download that.
I used it to write an email the other day.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. I mean, for things like brainstorming or like, let's say,
dude, honestly, if you just like put in a prompt and say, like, I wrote an email out that was like, okay, I want to talk about this and like include this part and just put it into the thing and say make it more professional. It
seems like you got to do a lot of writing to get a lot of writing back.
Not really.
Just get better.
Really.
Bro, it spits out like 3 paragraphs. Like it'll make in-depth everything.
There's something to say, like, get better, human, get better.
Get better.
When you can put in 2 sentences and get 6 paragraphs,
that's
at
different.
A 20-second rate, boom, it spits it out.
It's kind of ridiculous.
So, like, if you wanted to come up with a list of topics for a celebrity, you could put the celebrity in, and it could come up with 10 things that are kind of well known about them that aren't just surface level questions. So the more you go in depth on the prompt you're giving it, the more in depth it's going to return your answer. So
that shit's just scary to me, dude.
No, it's real scary.
It's like freaky.
It's cool though. It's also like, imagine being like explaining to your grandfather what it like an AI is, or like what this is, what VR is. So I'm one of those people who's like, oh, this is a cool time to be alive, but at the same time it's a little scary. So that's what's nice about fighting, is it's primal, because everything else is everything else is so virtual and crazy nowadays. Like fighting is fighting. It's like,
and
it's
fighting, you can't just be like, all right, I'm gonna download this today and I'm gonna be good at this tomorrow.
No,
you literally have to put in the time and the work.
Yeah, when it's downloadable content for fighting, I'm done. Like I'm stepping out. Once anybody can start,
because then money will run the industry.
Well, that's why I think I like fighting so much. Is it's so in training. It's so many people come in the gym and they're looking for this quick fix. They want to get good at fighting super fast, or they see a guy, they see the UFC,
like a flashy technique.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, you have to be in the gym getting beat up for like a while until you learn anything. It's crazy.
I mean, y'all are jiu-jitsu guys. Like, it's an investment in how much, like, your body, your joints can get banged up. Like, I've had multiple surgeries. I've had multiple fights where I come out knowing I'm injured and have to get surgeries. So there's an investment. You don't just get to partake in the fighting without paying your dues. And whether it's in the gym sparring, or if it's training, or if it's rolling, like, I feel like you pay your dues to ascend the totem pole of fighters, of jiu-jitsu, of anything in life. But yeah, there's a lot of guys who come in who, like, my favorite is, and it's very classic, they come in, they're a street fighter. It's like, oh, I'm a street fighter, like, I fight in the backyard. And it's a pattern. Like, the more you hear young guys come in, everybody's a street fighter. And I mean, I think it plays into guys like McGregor just making it so cool the way he did it, that now, like, all the cool kids want to do it, but they don't necessarily want to stick with it. So,
well, they never do.
Yeah, it's rare. Like, when you get a guy who comes in and you're like, all right, athlete, serious, taking it seriously, and then sticks with it, it's like, dude, we can go far with you. With the amount of people who come in and just shuffle through within a month. So it's a real commitment thing. Just like jiu-jitsu. I mean, imagine you as a blue belt or a 4-stripe white belt versus a nothing.
Yeah.
Your first start. I always think, like, I was a decent wrestler when I came into jiu-jitsu, but, like, me with 1 year of jiu-jitsu would have ended that, man, in like 60 seconds.
For sure.
And it would have been unreal. So, but y'all are jiu-jitsu guys. I think I competed at a tournament before that you were at. You compete some, right?
I did. Yeah, I haven't competed in a while. It was at Which one was that?
Trey's tournament at the fairgrounds.
SEC.
Yeah.
I thought you were competing on that day.
Yeah.
You saw somebody crying on the mat? Is that what you're talking about?
I don't remember all that because I was.
That was okay. We mopped it up.
Was that your first one?
I didn't cry.
He didn't cry.
No, I'm not saying you cried, but that was your first tournament?
Yeah.
Was that day. I was there too. That was actually my first tournament too. Have you competed in jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
I haven't competed since, and so I'm not like a big competitor jiu-jitsu guy, but with MMA, I love jiu-jitsu. Like I think it's one of the dominant ones when you add it with a wrestling base. Mm-hmm. It's I
think if you can start off wrestling.
For sure.
Because then you don't fall into lazy things that jiu-jitsu.
For sure.
Jiu-jitsu has the proneness because it's so acceptable to be lazy in the sport. Mm-hmm. Because there's positions where you can be super effective and it looks lazy. So people will learn that game. Like they'll be on their back or on their side, K-guard or some weird shit.
Yeah, it's like Trey. Y'all know Tra Alidor, our head jiu-jitsu coach. If you didn't know what jiu-jitsu was and like you walked into somebody on their back, you'd be like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But the fact that he can launch to your neck in 2 seconds and have you in a triangle, it's unreal.
Them big ears, you're like, there's no way he can do anything.
It draws the attention up top for sure. And
the blinding bowl thing he's got going on, he waxes it or something.
So what do y'all think about butt scooting in jiu-jitsu?
I think you should at least attempt to wrestle. Like, attempt the takedowns. There should be some sort of that. Like, if you're starting a school, maybe if you're teaching people in their first couple competitions, for sure get out there and just do whatever is going to make you feel the jitters go away a little bit.
Get that mat
Then
time.
Let's build because if you only butt scoot, there's going to be people that will game plan around you specifically, or your gym, or like a nucleus of athletes, and they're going to learn how to beat that. But if you learn an overall game, if you have a little bit of everything in each pot, it's going to be hard to deal with you.
Yeah.
Like, what if I'm better at butt scooting than you are, and I let you start, and then I go down there and berimbolo you and take your back or some shit?
I think you should be able to butt scoot, but then you can't be a jiu-jitsu guy and butt scoot and then be like, I don't understand why people don't like this style of jiu-jitsu. Yeah. It's not an appealing style of fight.
I think you should be allowed to quote-unquote butt scoot, but you should have to make contact first, like an ADCC rule. Mm-hmm. So it should be something to where you're entering in it based off of a connection, not off of the match starts, you sit down and then... Because that's like... Cool. Yeah, you're literally going into somebody's hole. Like, you're like, they're already really good at that, you know?
Yeah.
And trying to market that to, like, people my generation, young guys, like, hey, watch this. And you turn around, one guy, like, sits down and just looks at him. It's not going to... I don't think that's going to grow the sport. So I think it needs some sort of amending. But I've just been hearing a lot of people talk about it. And it was Mike Musumeci. They were making fun of him for butt scooting.
He's also got a very strange dynamic.
Yeah. I think that Aljo fight, too. Or not, was it Aljo? Yeah.
Aljo, I can't remember who he fought, but he was on like a
on the
Fury
UFC
or something.
Yeah, like fight
or
whatever. I think after that whole thing went down, a lot of people started looking at it, too. Just like
there just needs to be amendments to the rules of each thing. But it's like the problem, again, with jiu-jitsu is there's literally so many different rule sets per promotion. So it's not as uniformed as MMA or maybe wrestling.
Yeah.
I know there's different style of wrestlings, but within each style, it should be the same rules.
There's
correct?
not that one governing body.
Right. Yeah.
Like boxing has like the WBC.
Yeah.
And then with kickboxing, you get people who are like world champions, but in an obscure promotion per se. Like the Andrew Tate thing, a lot of people are like, is he a good kickboxer? Because he's fighting in a promotion that you've never really heard of. Because they don't have that. Like golf, PGA, basketball, NBA, they don't have that governing, unifying body. Because honestly, when somebody's like, "Do you want to compete at so and so in New Orleans?" and then they're like, "You got to register, you got to do this, you got to look at these rules," I'd say it adds like a bunch of layers that people just don't want to get involved in. Yeah. And I'd say jiu-jitsu could grow from a government, like some sort of.
It needs to be uniform.
I think it does. I understand that side of it too, but it takes out a lot of the opportunity for other, bodies or whatever to do their own tournaments and kind of do their own thing.
But
you know
why
what I mean?
not just have the same rules?
Just have a flat rule set, yeah.
I mean,
Because if everybody had the same rules, you would have a streamline. People would be getting really good because then they wouldn't be like, well, I didn't know that. He got me.
Yeah.
You know, like literally just happened in the Super Bowl. They didn't know about the overtime rule. How do you not know about the overtime rule? You are in the NFL. You are a professional. This is the only rule set you ever had to know. Yes, they did change it like the year prior, but you're literally going towards the Super Bowl. Yeah. Start fucking learning about some stuff.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I think if it was uniform, there could be none of this, like, I think it would be very similar to, like, MMA, like eye pokes. That should be a point. That's not a rule yet, but everybody agrees this is a glaring thing that should be a thing.
Yeah.
Versus, well, he beat me on this. Like in Flow Grappling's Who's Number One, they do 5-minute segments where they're like, the judges favor red.
Yeah.
That's not a rule. That's only within them.
Yeah.
And then you got EBI. Then you got Submission Underground with Chael Sonnen. Then you got ADCC. Like, everything has different. We should all agree that if the Olympic of our sport is ADCC, it should be within those. And if there's a different, like IBJJF, that's their own thing. But all gi typically goes by IBJJF. So why doesn't all no gi typically go by EBI or ADCC? That doesn't make sense.
Is there, I don't believe there is, but is there a jiu-jitsu BJJ or no-gi that is in the Olympics?
No.
I think maybe that would be the, like, if the Olympics could settle on, okay, this is our rule no-gi and our rule gi. That would set it kind of for everybody else.
I think they're talking about doing that in like 2028 or something.
I mean, it's got to
jiu-jitsu.
be. It's exponential growth. It's blown up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bigger than judo. Judo's in the Olympics.
But I think if they were going to do jiu-jitsu in the Olympics, it would be gi. It wouldn't be no-gi first.
But what about, I mean, wrestling? Wrestling's in the singlet. I feel like you could easily add a no-gi division.
And with how big no
But is there like a no-gi versus gi kind of version of the wrestling? I know there's singlets.
There's like sambo or judo,
and that's like
not,
just a gi top, right?
Yeah. But don't you
so
think
that's tough? I don't know.
Jiu-jitsu in the gi and then not in the gi is like two kind of totally separate.
Oh, I agree. But I think like if they're going to put millions into a thing to make it a thing, they're probably going to go gi first because IBJJF already exists, and it seems to be more like prestigious in the gi. I don't know. It just seems
the name IBJJF definitely,
and how they've run it. Not that ADCC is not, and ADCC has money behind it.
I think it's gonna.
I think
now it's bigger than IBJJF.
I think ADCC. If the Olympics started, it would just be ADCC again. It'd be all the same athletes.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, other than like countries like Turkey has to have a representative. Maybe now they'll have somebody in there. Versus like ADCC doesn't have a guy from Turkey or something.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like if they have to have a state representative.
A country.
Well, it's like
or whatever.
They got like
they
for
still
basketball.
call it state,
they assemble the U.S. team and they send all these stud NBA
dude.
players.
And what's even weirder about that is like when they do things like that, it's not always people from there.
No.
Sometimes it'll be like Kyrie Irving, Israel.
Yeah.
I'm like, is he Israeli? I don't think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't guess. So I think maybe the Olympics has a lane they could fall into, and I think they could bring MMA into it and do that same thing, like maybe a different tournament style of like the different countries. And I think that face down, like U.S. versus Dagestan or some of these newer countries that are coming up out of the woodworks, like that could be an interesting spectacle.
Dude, I wish we had MMA tournaments. That's like
even it's tournament vibe or a team like wrestling. They do duels where it's like teams and or it's like a trifecta in jiu-jitsu or something like that.
Here's a good question. If you were to do MMA tournaments nowadays, how do you think you could like play with the rules to make it to where you can do more than one fight in a night?
Puffers for sure, and then like 2-minute rounds, 3 2-minute rounds.
So maybe like
what is a puffer?
Like a 8. So like you fight in like a 4-ounce glove. It's like an 8-ounce glove with a thicker cushion. I think you could do that, or you could either do rounds. So it's like individual matches, maybe like 1 3-minute round. That's it. Winner continues.
That's what I think. That was going to be my suggestion. Was like
sudden
if a fight is 3 5-minute rounds or whatever the minutes is.
Yeah.
Make each round a fight with someone else.
And then I mean, could you imagine the action that's gonna?
Yeah, I was just about to say you
can't 3 minutes.
You can't just sit around and
bounce
That'd
around.
be crazy.
Can you imagine how good you would be by the time you hit the UFC? You'd be Vitor level every round. Well, I mean, yes, it would fall off because of just energy expenditure,
and that establishes the sport. It's like there's guys who go and box for the USA boxing team that come back and they may not have a great pro career, you know, or they may because they were in that feeder program and they're getting a little bit of a payment and they're getting to represent Team USA. But I think like having that funnel of building up like American MMA fighters, because I think American MMA fighters are kind of been going down the chute recently. Yeah. If you look on the world stage, the UFC, it's like we're
getting flooded.
It's getting thin, you know. Like you're not seeing too many Americans, and I'm like, we can't go down like that.
Do you think that has to do with like the rest of the world starting to put money into the sport?
Yeah, and I don't know. I haven't been to all the places, but I think that some of them maybe they're just harder places. Like,
also they fund sports like in Eastern Europe. They fund sports way more than they fund sports.
Take it seriously.
Well, and aren't they also starting to implement jiu-jitsu in certain colleges? Like as a course?
Well, that's like my college. I went to UWF.
It's not a lot of them.
And they did a jiu-jitsu class. Now, was the person coming in good at it, or did they know what they're doing?
You're like, no, I watched the class.
I'm not going to speak to that, but they are doing it, and they'll label it as like women's self-defense or jiu-jitsu.
And I know what you're talking about because I know a guy that works there.
Yeah,
that's more like what is it when it's like an optional thing. It's not really a thing there, but if somebody wants to provide it there, they'll give you a space to do it.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing collegiate MMA where you represent the Like I got hit up by this promotion. It's called
Nuka.
Yeah. That's what it's called. And they pick kids from these colleges, and it's not like the college has an MMA team, but they got a club, like he was saying, and you go fight for that college. And so that's what I'm trying to do now. Like you go represent, you wear the colors of your college, and you go do a cage fight.
And I think like
what?
Yeah, look it up on Instagram.
McGregor is.
It already exists.
Yeah, they've done like 2.
Wow. I was really jealous because I graduated just this December, and I was like, I wanted to go smash some kids in that real quick.
But it's in like West Virginia, and they they wouldn't let me.
Oh, dude, West Virginia is wild.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Wonderful Whites of West Virginia? The documentary of them.
Are you talking about the
Holy
inbred family?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
Well, this is not necessarily the inbred family, but this is like, I mean, they're probably inbred a little bit.
That one.
The Wonderful Whites of West Virginia.
That one with the photographer who went up there.
That's crazy.
Gosh.
But this is a trailer, but this is like, it's literally, you're like, how is this a glimpse into a life? You're talking about Soft White Underbelly. Mm-hmm. Mark from Soft White Underbelly did an interview about a family that's, super inbred. What a long intro. God. Dude, we already know that part.
You got me by American Express. Dude.
Boone County. I mean, already.
Yeah, from the start.
Patricia
Dude,
Smith.
If you could hear these people, she's about the best looking one of them, too.
I was going to say,
like
she's about to
And, dude, there's one on here that she's like, I'm the prettiest one on the mountain. And she is not. Okay. So. Dude, that's not good. It's brought to you by the people who brought you Jackass.
That's what's up.
Nice.
Seriously, it's a documentary you need to go watch. Because it'll just give you another way of life. You're like, this is crazy. I watched this like 6 years ago or something.
It's like that exists. That's happening right now somewhere. And it's have you seen the ones where it was like, it's just like this, but a guy on YouTube goes up. And it's like a family that communicates in dog barks. Oh, yeah. They're like fully inbred, like multi-generational.
That's the Soft White Underbelly thing.
Yeah. Is that what it is?
Okay. I haven't seen that.
It's like barking like a dog.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Have you seen that meme? And this is a meme, but it's really a real video. And the dude's like, in every way but physically, I'm a wolf.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And then he's like, it barks. That's the best looking one is what she says. That's the one that's like.
I'm on board with that.
Her name's Kirk.
Yeah, she all right.
What?
These are the people that are voting for Nick Saban as president.
Oh, dude. Hey, brother, don't knock the votes. Let's go, dude. We'll take it any way we can get it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy what's out there and like.
Yeah. That gives you an appreciation
for sure.
where you're at.
Yeah,
like people talk shit about Alabama.
Oh, dude.
I mean, I know there's some crazy Alabama
parts. There's some tough spots.
Yeah, there's some crazy
But I think there's tough spots in every state. You know what I mean?
I mean, you go to the wrong part of like Milton, and you're like, damn.
Yeah.
And everywhere has their nice spots too.
Yeah.
Like if you notice that.
Yeah.
I went to the Dominican last spring, and it's like all favelas, and it's so poor. But then you go to this one area, and they got 20-foot high gates, and that's where the rich people are at. And there's like multi-million-dollar houses.
Yeah.
So you see the full swing of society. But yeah, I mean, it's just as bad in some places, Alabama, where they don't have heat, electricity, water. And then right next to it, you got like top of the top, creme de la creme houses on mountains. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think that just exists everywhere. Like, I'm not going to lie. Oh, you go over in Florida town, you see some things like that. Like, there's it's bad. I mean,
Florida has some crazy spots. Have you heard of Clearwater, Florida? What's going on there?
What? No, I haven't heard what's going on there.
Scientology owns, like, more than half of the town. They've bought up more than...
In Clearwater?
In Clearwater, Florida, the main downtown area, they've bought more than 50% of the buildings.
Bro.
And they're not doing anything with them. They're just sitting abandoned. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But there's some sort of write-off thing where they're buying them. I don't know why, but I think in the last, like, 5 or 6 years, they've spent $103 million on property.
Like Shell Corps hiding money and stuff in real estate,
and,
probably.
And 98% of the money spent, so $97 million of the dollars was, I think, cash. Mm-hmm. What's going on there?
Dude, it's like those mega
Hit your boy up, Tommy
pastors.
Gunn. Let's find out what's going on.
Dude, for real, though. I honestly don't know if I've ever heard him really, like, straight up sit and talk about Scientology, yeah.
Brother, you haven't looked into it.
Well,
he does speeches at these events.
Oh, really?
Yeah, have you not seen him in the Scientology garb? He looks like he's graduating from college. He's got, like, long tassel things, yeah.
I've seen that, like, him in that, but... I just mean, like, interviews and stuff like that. I guess people also just don't really ask about that too much. They just kind of know that it's a thing.
Yeah.
But,
it's wild, bro. The fastest mini cows you ever did see?
What the fuck? Zoomies. Nice. So what do you think they're going to do with all this shit down there? In Clearwater?
In Clearwater?
Yeah.
I think they're going to make a town of cult people, and then it's going to become like you don't know any better. There's also a town, and I know this sounds very Florida, but it's literally just old people, and it's very like Truman Show. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, no. The crazy, like the
Jim
movie
Carrey
about movie? All the houses are like the same, or
it's kind of like that, but it's like Jim Carrey's in this movie called The Truman Show. The show is about him, so everybody in the movie is an actor, and they're shooting a television show. He doesn't know that. He thinks everything in his life is real. Everything in his life is fake. Yeah. They're on a set, and he doesn't know that. And he always wonders why you can't leave. Yeah. Well, one day, at the very end of the movie... Damn, I don't want to give it away. It's a good movie. Just watch it.
I've seen clips of it. That's how I know.
The thing that I think you're talking about, or might be, is Vivarium. It's like a movie where this couple goes and buys a property because like everybody else is doing it. Literally, every house is literally the exact same.
Well, I just watched something, and I forget the name of it, where these people do, like, they go to buy this house in this perfect neighborhood, but they're in, like, a virtual reality thing where the husband put him and his wife in it, and then, like, they have to get out of it. It's, like, crazy. Like, all those mindfuck movies are so fun.
Are they miniature?
No. It's normal, but everyone seems perfect, and, like, this girl is having the flashbacks to, like, what real life was, but the real life was horrible. It was horrible, and so that's why they went to this, put on these goggles on, and it was on Netflix, so... It was on Netflix.
Damn, I don't know. I'm terrible with names.
Same.
That sounds so familiar, though. I feel like I've seen that.
Have y'all seen how, like, in a lot of... They're building these new subdivisions, but they'll make the very cookie-cutter house, and now they're only renting them. They're not selling houses anymore.
He knows more about that.
BlackRock shit.
Yeah, that shit is insane. Like, Pace has... I've been in Pace since it was, like, 2 stoplights, and now they're just... printing
it's
them.
like Woodbine Hills or whatever it is over there. Yeah.
They're printing them over there, and they're filling these houses with ones that you can't buy. So to go into kind of what you were saying, like everything's perfect, it's all the same. It's weird how it's kind of becoming that with the BlackRock, and everything's kind of like coming into one homogenous thing, or at least that's what I think with like restaurants and everything. I'm going on a tangent, but
no, you're good, dude.
That shit that
But why only rent? Really what do they get better money out of from just renting?
Because they're going to get paid forever.
You'll never own it.
They just make money monthly by getting paid rent and paying mortgage, and then they own the land.
Like for example, like if somebody buys a house, they're gonna end up spending like $200,000 or whatever, but they only spend that once. Yep. Yes, it'll take them a long time, but when they die, if they're renting, somebody else is going to fill that space.
Your kids don't inherit it, none of that, retirement.
But then you just
really, when you buy something, you're only buying it for 100 years. Yeah. At best.
I mean, are you buying... I mean, there's an argument...
You're leasing it for 100 years, I should say.
Yeah, no matter what it is, it could still be taken away.
Everything's temporary.
Yeah.
We're all dying.
Right have a very negative outlook right now.
I just went on that. You will own nothing and you'll be happy.
I think really, it's just about leaving your mark, you know. So pee in that house.
Don't be peeing in my house, though.
Claim it. Stake your claim.
Yeah, dude. Is there anything like you guys have been with Remedy since both 15? So how long has that been years wise?
How old are y'all?
I'm 23.
Okay. I'm 19. Yeah. So I started at different. You know the academy.
Yeah.
In school. I started there when I was like 14, but it was just like no shade, but it was just not what I wanted.
Yeah.
And it was super far away, and I wanted to go every day. I could only go like 3 days a week because I was working over the summers every day. Like, I needed something I could get easier to, so I went to Remedy.
Yeah. So, do you guys feel like you guys know your next steps in the sport? Like, obviously, you're a contender. You're coming up. You're now a champion.
Yeah.
Like, is there a difference between the amateur and the pro belts?
Yeah, I would say so.
I mean, do they physically look the same?
No, I mean, probably about the same. I don't think you're fighting for the belts, you know, but so I'd say it's probably going to be
because they don't have pro belts, do they?
Yeah, they do, and some pro promotions.
Yeah,
I mean, like Island Fights doesn't have a pro belt.
Well, because
they're like a feeder system.
Yeah, they have their game bred is what they seem to be focusing on now. They used to have Icon, which was above Island Fights. Yeah. They just did a pro show last August, and they did have pro fights on it. So they could hypothetically make a pro show, and you could continue into that. But no, for me, my next steps is going to be it's gearing up to make the jump to pro, and I don't want to do that lightly. I'm in a good position right now. I just finished school. I have a parachute. I have a job I'm always going to be able to return to. So now it's like putting the pieces in place to make the pro jump smart, because I don't think you can be in it and be half in, half out. Yeah. And a lot of guys are, and I think even low into the UFC, a lot of them they're gonna have day jobs, and it's that's kind of what the Olympic side of things. You could start building athletes and having them fight and like grow into that, because it's a low paid sport. And but I think if you wanna have success in pro, you got to be committed. You got to be on the mats. It's gonna be hard to be working 12-hour days and then return and then get your training in and eat right.
There was a lady that just won on a fight night, on the UFC fight night, and I think she was only gonna win like 15 grand or something like that. Like her win and bonus was 15 total.
No, her win and
or not bonus, but her win and her show was 15 total. And they were like, I don't know if you know this, but you won the $50,000 bonus. And she goes, like, it blew her mind. And they were like, what are you gonna spend with the money? And she was like, well, my fight was literally just to get me back to zero. Like, because she was $10,000 in debt, and then it cost her like, the camp itself cost like $5,000 or something.
Yeah, it's
so like the bonus was all gonna be her money.
Yeah, and then if you want to take it serious, and have the nutritionist help you and pick the right foods and like hit a good. I mean, I hit a big weight cut for 170, especially at amateur. I'll weigh in at 170, and later that night I'll be up to 190. So, I mean, that's amateur, and I'm swinging 20 pounds in a day. Yeah. And if you want to be in the sport, you got to have access to, like, prime nutrition, good hydration, a good training camp, and that doesn't come cheap. So a lot of people will hit me up, and they're like, I'm going to start training, I'm going to have a fight. Like, it's that simple, but at the same time, it's not, because if you want to win, and if you're going to go in a fight, go in it to win. You got to take it seriously.
That's going to be hard for you now as, like, a champion, like a face, that people are going to hit you up and be like, I fight too. And you're like,
Yeah.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
It's different. And
It's different,
unfortunately, like I'm maybe a little more Sean Strickland-esque, where I'm not the one that you want to like, you want to show me you can fight with. I'll get in there with a new guy, and if you want to bang, I'll match your energy. So I usually keep it quiet. I don't honestly run around telling too many people that I do MMA or things like that, just because some of that stuff bothers
It attracts
me.
weird
It attracts
energy.
bad energy.
Yeah.
You go downtown or you go out, and it just feels like there's always somebody that that guy fights, and I want to press this guy. I want to see, let's see.
Which is a weird behavior, because as
behavior.
fighters, or as like people who can defend themselves, I don't feel that energy to do that to someone.
Yeah, no.
Like if I find out somebody else fights, I'm like, yo, where do you fight? I'm not like, do you want to fight?
We're in it, and it's such a small community. Like this area, you run into some guy you may not know. Oh, he goes to Checkmat. I've heard of him. And I think once you're in the community, anybody can be way more dangerous than you pin them as.
Yeah.
We had a guy when I started. He's still there. His name's Simon, and he's like small dude, long hair, long beard.
Jesus.
Know Simon.
Yeah.
And like I remember I would be like, I could take this guy as a high school wrestler, state level. Yeah. Man would backpack me and choke the life out of me, and he was probably 50 pounds lighter than me. And I was like, wow, you can really, it does not matter, and you cannot pin someone down as, this guy can't fight. That guy could be a killer. Yeah. So I'm at that point where my ego is beginning to resolve when it comes to that sort of thing, but other people's ego, like maybe isn't as built up. They really haven't fought, and they pin themselves, I am a fighter. Yeah. And then they want to mano-a-mano and pull some emotion out of you. I mean, I would say I had a tough time dealing with that already, just because, I like you said, I feel like it attracts negative energy. But now I'm just to the point, whatever, man. You can fight. Good for you. Yeah. Come to the gym. Come to the gym, spar. Let's train then. If you fight, Yeah. Why are you not training if you're a fighter? You're not a part-time fighter. Yeah. But
I think with time brings that ego lesson or ego death, because you'll learn, you'll be humbled by time. Time will take away your joints. It'll take away your mobility. It'll take away things. Yeah, you can work on your body and work on those things. Yeah. But before you didn't have to. Mm-hmm. So now you do. Like now you can't just get out of bed and go roll 3 hours and then come home and be fine. You'll feel it tomorrow. Just talking about me.
I'm approaching that. I'm approaching the stretching phase. Like I used to just run in, get it going. Now I actually have to like
get ready to do
prep
things.
And then cool off. It's not as easily of a transition. I don't just get out of the car, go in and start going 110. Like I have to warm up.
What's crazy is like I remember staying up late at night and it not affecting me the next day at all. Now if I stay up like past 10, I'm like, dude, tomorrow's gonna be fucked.
Yeah.
And people are like, what's going on? And I'm like, I'm just up past 10 right now.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. What are y'all doing? They're like, we're staying out till 2. And I'm like, we can't be friends no more.
Yeah.
I'll be friends during the daylight. Then I go home. Yeah, it's crazy. Also, something that doesn't get talked about enough, or I feel like should be talked about more, how do people not get sick cutting that much weight in a day? Because you're literally killing your body to touch a weight to bounce right back.
I woke up the morning of this last fight, and I woke up sinus, sick, just run down. Had a cold, but, I mean, the day before you swing 15 pounds in the morning and put 20 back on, your body's kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? You're putting it on such a ride that, I mean, to expect to not get sick is amazing. I think you would have to really have your, I'd say, supplementation, vitamin, and nutrition on point.
Even with it being on point, it's crazy your body doesn't just go sick.
It's just luck. I mean,
is that one of the bigger cuts you've had?
That's about my average for the past 2, luckily from wrestling, I learned how to weight cut, and it was more like bro science. It was like fucking jump rope with a trash bag on. And
spin to a bottle.
Learning, and I went to nursing school, so learning more about like the body and proper hydration, things like that. I could apply it. I work with MaxFit, Jason at MaxFit in Pace. Yeah. He's awesome. When I hurt my leg in high school wrestling, he came up there and he would like talk nutrition at practice with me for an hour when I was sidelined, and he's always been so cool and helping me and other athletes from our gym hit weight and do it safely and not cook your brain, not be sitting in the sauna wanting to cry. So I have it easy. I wake up the morning and I'll be about 185-ish. By the time I get there, 184. This time I timed it. It was 40 minutes longer than my last one. So it took me 20-minute warm-up and then an hour 40 of working in and out of the sauna. So I kind of get in the sauna, and as soon as I start to sweat, I get out until right when I stop, and you just dance that edge. So you're not baking your brain, you know. I know some guys are sitting there for 20 straight minutes. You're cooking. Like you're cooking, and then to think you're going to get your brain back to 100% by tomorrow night, don't matter what you eat or what you drink, it just takes time. So taking the bro science and mixing it with like real science has started to really pay off. And I mean, Leon Edwards, he went from 170 that morning to the ceremonial weigh-ins. He was 185. I went from 170 to 187 that by the time I got home. So I take pride in the fact that I take it seriously, and I'm cutting the same amount of weight as a UFC champion. So I hold it to that standard. And Ben, like, you don't miss weight with Ben. Ben says expletives, but you make the weight. Like, people will whine, oh, can we get a 2-pound allowance? He's like, no, we respect the sport. We make the weight. That's how we operate.
It'll build in the discipline over time. And I think 100%. When you have a coach that you really want to do and you really want to respect, you do the extra for him. So if he sets like a tone, you follow that tone. Ben, Trey, all of them seem like that. We're about to have to get you guys out of here because y'all have to make practice.
Oh, no rush, but yeah, whenever.
Before we do get out of here, make the case for Remedy. Why is Remedy the gym to go to? Because, like, when anybody I know, they want to get into MMA, that's the gym I tell them.
Yeah.
They want kickboxing, that's the gym. I always tell them that because I feel like, well, y'all sell it. I don't.
Dude, I would just say we're the spot because it's so organic. It's homegrown. The people that are in there, they love it. I mean, we're blessed to go into a jiu-jitsu class and have 40 people on a mat some night. All the looks you can get, different bodies, different backgrounds. We got Navy pilots, we got helicopter guys, we got cops, we got doctors, lawyers. Everyone's in there, all walks of life. And pretty much it's so genuine that everybody's just trying to get better. And I know people who've come in there just to lose 30 pounds, check. They make it, they get it done. People who've come in, I want to have my first fight, easy. We've got guys who come in there, do that. We've got people who just want to come in and have fun. And I mean, that's definitely a person, but then we have competitors. We have me, Colin, we got Cam, obviously, Tig, Reeves comes from Mobile, Reeves Davis Jr. He trains with us on our striking.
Multiple-time champ.
We get RJ Sumlin. I mean, just so many guys that pop in that are
now
pros.
It's too many to remember.
Yeah, like some days we'll be in there sparring. If you're wanting to compete, we'll be in there sparring with 18 to 20 guys sometimes. Now, it dips and wanes, but like last weekend, the other weekend, we had 12 guys in there sparring just on a random Sunday, and all of them are competitors. Almost all of them had at least had a fight. They've at least been in there, so you're not sparring with people who don't understand the game.
I think that's what makes it special. Like you said, what makes it special for fighters? As I went to the academy in Pensacola, there was like one pro guy there and like one other guy there. And then that guy goes to our gym now, Jose. And it's like we have fighters, like he said. We have the normal people that just want to have a good time, people that want to get in shape, people that want to compete jiu-jitsu. But like you can't really find that anywhere else around here.
No.
I feel like y'all have the best overall well-rounded gym.
Well, it's
because y'all offer everything.
And I mean, my personal, I guess it's like a pipe dream, but it's a dream, is to like establish this area as an MMA area that we can be taken seriously. I know I've talked about it with Ben, like we would want to take it to Pensacola top team, like make this a highlight area.
That'd be sick.
Have it built up enough that people come and do their camps here. Like Cerrone has that ranch where people
the BMF ranch.
Yeah, and people come in and they can host a camp there, and Ben's was like, it'd be sweet to get to the point where we can build up a gym that's a host camp, that you can come here as a pro fighter and have it feel like you're at Big Bear up in Colorado or you're in South Florida. Have everything you need to make a real professional run at fighting. And I think it's only going to get bigger.
I feel like if that's a goal that y'all set, you will achieve it.
Yeah.
Because there's not much that Trey hasn't set that he didn't achieve. No, I can't think of anything.
I can't put those words in Trey's mouth that he said that, but it was Ben, our kickboxing coach.
Throw Ben under the bus.
Yeah, I'll throw Ben under the bus. Trey.
I'm sure Trey wouldn't mind.
He'll give me I didn't say that.
Yeah,
but it would be cool, and I think the potential is there, regardless of what happens. Just if we continue on the rate, if the sport grows, people gain interest, and it's gonna get big, and I could see us upgrading gyms again here soon. I mean, there's some days we're packed.
I was just about to say, we already need a bigger gym.
Yeah, when I was still going there, I was like, there were some days where I was just like, where are we supposed to?
On Trey's jiu-jitsu days, every time he's teaching jiu-jitsu, it's packed.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
The only thing I think we need to put it all together is true MMA classes, because we have the feeling we're an MMA gym. We have a lot of MMA guys. We have a lot of kickboxing guys that are on their way to aspire in MMA. Yeah. And so I think being an MMA gym, you got to be well-rounded. You got to have good jits. You got to have good striking and a decent amount of grappling. I think the area we need to converge it all together would be the grappling, standing up, working on wall work, and establishing the MMA and the jiu-jitsu together. Yeah. I think if we, in the next little bit of time, we find out how to really put dot the I's and cross the T's on combining all of the different forms that we have into one, it's going to be a powerhouse for this area. It's going to be pretty amazing to watch, and I plan on trying to be here and be with them a good amount of the time. As you go pro, you got to step out and go to different camps.
For sure.
But I think this is going to be my home base. We got great relationships with the coaching. Once if you come in as a new classmate, and once they figure out, hey, this guy's got that spark in him, like he's here to learn, he really wants to be here, they take that interest in you and they push it the extra mile, and they hold you to a high level too. So, don't come to Remedy as a competitor wanting to slouch, especially once you've earned the coach's respect and they know what you can do. They're gonna push you, and they want to make sure you're gaining. And just yesterday, Trey sat with me after practice and showed me this one move. He's like, you can get this move, it's going to take you to the next level, and sat there and drilled the motion in with me for a few minutes. And it's things like that, saying, hey, you were doing this a little wrong today, but we can close that gap, and we can make you complete
it's
fighter.
About the caring part of it.
Caring. And I think there's a lot of places you can go. You can run off to South Florida, and you're just another number.
Yeah, you can get lost down there, unfortunately.
And you can fall in with the wrong people, and some of those gyms that seems like real heavy sparring. We're real good about technical sparring. Yeah. It gets hot in there, and I may get a bad attitude every now and then.
But it's all controlled.
It's all controlled.
Yeah. And you'll also recognize when it does get a little amped.
Yeah.
But those other gyms you're talking about, because I know some of the ones you are, it's like that is the bar.
Yeah.
How crazy can it get? Can we get content out of this?
And I think it's an abusive relationship to have your fighters going at that level for too long. It's like a big flame's going to burn out fast. Yeah. And I've paid the price with surgeries already. And I know, leaving this fight, I had some areas that were sore and had to get brought back to health from throwing calf kicks and landing head kicks and hitting shin.
Dude, you were kicking super good.
Thank you.
I thought you were going to have him out in the first round.
Props to that man, because I have hit people sparring with half the speed of that.
Bro, he dropped it looked like on accident with the head kick.
It looked like you had hit him so hard that he went out and came right back instantly.
Zombie.
Where he's like,
I was amazed. I'm going to be honest, it was like you hit it and you're like, that's the shot. And he just kind of, one time he smiled at me. I was like, oh, well, damn. And
you're like, you from West Virginia?
Yeah. I was like, you got some extra cushioning up there or something, because the one was just shin. I mean, I had an imprint on my shin the next morning. So I understand, going hard, it costs. It pays. Some way you're going to pay a little price.
For sure.
And that was the first fight I'd gone into healthy too. A lot of my last ones, you go in hurt. That's the thing about you're saying cutting weight. You cut weight, you catch an injury in sparring, and then what do? You pull out. Yeah. It's it's a mind game too, because I mean, the 2 fights in a row I've gone in with pretty severe problems, and you're in the back like, well, shit, this could go any way. Do you say, no, I'm gonna take this one out. Yeah. I'm gonna take a seat for this one. I think if you're a fighter, you go for it. And I've won both those fights with pretty big issues. Get them handled after, get back to training, and it's part of the game. And I think that's a little bit of the resilience required.
Mm-hmm. I think that's part of the growth of the sport, as far as like knowing how to handle the fight with an injury. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's not smart to fight with the injury, but at least knowing how to, I'm going to have to work around this and try not to favor my left foot or favor my right shoulder, whatever like it is. Like, try to avoid those things.
Yeah.
That's good coaching as well,
good
teaching
you
things. Yeah.
If you can game plan, like if y'all watch the Ilya Topuria fight, the game plan, it was unbelievable. How disciplined he stayed. Super tight, trot, and then he'd get in and explode. And then that one that dropped him, it was just so disciplined. You could tell what the game plan was. Yeah. He made his adjustments, and it just played flawlessly. If you're at a place where you have coaches that you love and respect, and they help you form a game plan, I believe you're going to stick to it. Whereas if you're with somebody who you don't really know and they've been your trainer for a bit, and they game plan with you, what's their investment in it? Do they love you as a person? Or do they care if you succeed? So that's one of the advantages we have at Remedy. We have people that really care if we succeed, and I'm very appreciative of it.
I definitely will say I agree with that about Remedy. Me and Sydney, which I'm speaking for both of us because we were in a similar situation. We were at a gym where we were money to someone. Mm-hmm. We were not like cared for. Yeah. And they were worried about us leaving because they were worried about the money stopping. But Trey reached out to us and was like, you should come have a private with us. Like, we can see, like, some weird shit happened at a tournament, and he saw that we didn't really have a coach. And he was like, you should do a private with us and just see how it feels. Yeah. So he personally held a private for me and Sydney. And then he's like, yo, I see where you guys are. I think y'all could, really fit well with our team. Sydney's still there. I was there for 5 years. Yeah. It spoke a lot to me to be like, he went out of his way to make us feel comfortable. And it was at his tournament. So he had no reason to really, I think it was the first one he ever threw as far as like the Southeastern thing. And he had no reason to do that. Mm-hmm. We were just 2 regular people. Yeah. And now Sydney's one of his coaches, correct?
Yeah, she
and she's a brown belt under
kids classes.
Yeah, she's a part of the nucleus of that gym
for sure.
And that's crazy that it was just like him being nice and reaching out. I'll forever be grateful for Trey for that because he didn't have to do that. Mm-hmm. There's literally nobody could have known that story if I wouldn't have told it.
Yeah,
but me and her.
And that's the thing. We have coaches that care. Like. And I'm at a competitor stage, so I don't get the opportunity to coach too much.
Yeah. Do you have goals for that later on in life? Like
yeah.
Both
I think
of you guys.
Coaching would be cool, but at the same rate,
I think y'all could add a lot.
Yeah, right.
That's my dream, dude. Honestly, that's my dream is to open up like a gym, like one day. That's the dream. Yeah. Finish up fighting and then do that.
Right now, like Ben is good about having, since we are competitors. He doesn't have us teaching class, like so. Sometimes he'll have like Kayla. She'll teach a class because she's got so much experience, more striking experience than I or him have. So sometimes she'll take a class, but he's not like, if he can't make it there, it's not like, oh, you coach tonight. Like, we always have a real coach. It feels like, it's nice, but I don't get the opportunity to coach too much. So at the same rate, I wonder if I would be the right coach person because the coaches we have are so patient with some of the. I'm an impatient person, and sometimes I'd probably get a little harsh if it wasn't like going. If I was having to explain multiple times, they had to do such a good job handling it, and I have so much respect for anybody who can coach and form, like, especially kids, like handling kids and really teach them.
That's different though.
It's hard.
Kids is way different.
Like Cam teaches a kids kickboxing class.
Cam's
like,
so nice.
I'm like, respect to you, buddy, because I would go crazy.
He works those kids, bro.
Yeah, he works them, and he gets them to pay attention. I don't know if I have that in me, but that is the one thing about Remedy. Like, our coaches care, and even down to the kids' classes, to the adults, it's just they care that you get what you're here for. They care that you grasp it. So it's pretty sweet. It's a good setup.
Is there before we get out of there, is there any dirt you can give us on Cam? He's our boy, but like take a shot at him.
Oh, okay.
Like, does he smell weird? Or?
No, my favorite. Me and Cam go way back because I started wrestling and he was like a year older than me. So when I was coming to the kids wrestling at Pace, he was kind of wrestling with the big boys, the high schoolers. But so one of the years, he like went to the bathroom before a tournament, and he was close on weight, and he just shaves off his whole head.
Oh my God.
And I mean, that he probably lost half of an ounce.
Yeah.
And then so he waited and he didn't make weight, but he was like eating this applesauce, crying, bald, and I love you, Cam, but it was one of like my core memories. He was just like sobbing on this apple, but he's grown up so much, bro. Yeah. And seeing him come into his own has been awesome. And it's been a cool relationship for me and him because we came up, both of us, like alums of Reggie Allen Wrestling, both into Tra, both under Ben Seeley. So it's cool to see the success we've both been having, and we're great. Like, he's a great partner with Cam. Him and Cam are always scrapping and always going at it. But me and Cam can spar we could go in on a Saturday and spar for hours, and no one would get hurt. No one would get pissed off at each other. So it's cool that we've developed relationships like that where we can go get real technical work in, and like, we care about the person we're going with. I care that Colin, like that night when Colin won, I was in the back like, hell yeah.
It's so cool, that energy. Like and I feel like it's different from a lot of gyms. Like, some gyms are a little too competitive when they spar. Yeah. Like, obviously I want to like hit John with the stuff I'm trying to work on, but like it's all love, and we're all trying to get so much better. Like, we all know the UFC is our goal, or like fighting in a big promotion our goal. It's not winning a sparring round.
Not that like this will like put us on the map or anything, but it'll be cool when you guys make it, be able to watch this back for yourselves and be like, yo, like maybe y'all are training at gyms across the country, not even teammates anymore, but y'all are like, yo, he's a champion in the UFC, so am I. Like, yo, look at that interview way back in the day.
I hope that can get brought to fruition, and I really think it's a sport where hard work and a stroke of luck can get you pretty far. I
think y'all are in a perfect place, like a springboard place. Yeah. As far as the gym you're in, the promotion you're under. Oh, yeah. I mean, Dean's got connections everywhere, so as long as you keep going the path, y'all have potential that is through the roof.
That's the thing is, I want to fight more. That's like the only thing is fight is like the island fights. The next one is a while. It's just I wish we could be like literally fight every other weekend. I would fight he would probably fight every other weekend if it wasn't for injuries. Like, I just wish that was the thing, like tournaments and fighting.
I love it. It's like there's nothing else in life like fighting, and it's hard to swallow too, because some other things in life that you should maybe enjoy, I found them to be almost dulled down because the fight is just so exciting. It's so
you get to touch a peak that nobody else really
tap
does.
Into something some chemical that just makes you feel amazing. So, but it's also like the rest of life. I'm usually super calm, super chill now. And I think that fighting, that's one way, like fighting grows you, not just as a fighter, as a person. You can be more level-headed. You're not getting as anxious. You're not worrying over small things. It's like you go in and roll on a Saturday morning open mat. You may go there, I don't want to do this. I don't feel good today. And you come out, you're just in a good mood. Yeah. You're happy and you're content. And I think that's what training has brought me. Yeah. To a level of contentness. And I'm only 23, and as long as I can keep going and like appreciating and loving the game I'm part of, same with him, I just don't see how you can't find success when you're matching hard work, determination with just passion and love.
Yeah. I also feel like the more time goes on, like I have anxiety being around like people I don't know, I guess you could say. Like if I'm out and about with somebody, I need to be with someone that I know, like my boy or something. I can't just go by myself anywhere, right? But with jiu-jitsu, I used to stress about like Saturday open mats or like situations where I'm like, yo, today is going to be a test, even though it's not supposed to be like we're killing each other. But like the more time goes on, the less I'm stressed about it. The more I'm like, This is a privilege.
Yep.
Regardless of how it goes, whether I get tapped by everybody 3 times a roll or whatever, it's more like I'm so thankful. So I count every single day. That's probably me getting old and joints hurting. But like I will say,
70.
yeah, I will say like you want to go every day, all day long. He's going to want to do it a little less than you, and I'm going to want to do it way less than you guys. I want to, but my body doesn't want to. So, like, with time, that patience thing that you're talking about, like, you don't know if you'd be a good coach, I bet you that comes. And I bet you eventually long to be a coach, and you'll be really good. Maybe not kids, but I think it'll come with time because that patience gets forced upon you with time.
I could see it, and I wouldn't be opposed to it. But for me, like, I feel so locked in. Like, I got a long road to go before
There's
coach.
no reason to even think about it
No,
right
but
now.
I would love to. But, like, I mentioned earlier, I'm going to Thailand in 2 weeks. And it's an experiment, kind of in what you were saying. I'm going to train 5 times a day. I'm going to see for a month, and I'm going to see how hard is that on your body. I may get 2 weeks into it and be like, God damn, this is too much, 5 times a day. And before my last fight, I told Pearl, I was like, if I could do this 12 hours a day, I would do it 12 hours a day. I would train and do 2-hour class, 2-hour class, 2-hour class all day. If that's the life I could have, that'd be amazing. But going to Thailand and Ben's on board, he's like, live the life of a fighter. Eat, sleep, fight, train all day. And see how it's gonna go for that month, living the life of a professional fighter.
It's like a training camp for life.
Yeah, and then come back and we have that Island Fights. I think it's in May, and so I would be getting back like 3-4 weeks before that, and I want to come back and absolutely
defend on that one.
Someone's head into the front row.
Do you have to defend on that one?
I believe. I mean, I don't have to, but I would like to.
That'd be so sick.
Before I get too wrapped up in work, I'd like to get one more, and then I can maybe take a few months off, get my other ducks in a row, and then I turned 24 the end of this year, so 24 is my year where I'm gonna make the jump, whether it be early 24 or late 24. So it's about a year and a half, and it'll that's the target date. But we're getting more connected, and we're getting fight opportunities in a lot of places. I've had a lot of people DMing me asking me to come up and fight, and I'm not gonna come fight every weekend, because I can't and make commitments. But like, there's one March 30th. I was gonna try and get on that. Are you trying to get?
I'm trying to get on that.
We got some guys that are gonna go over to Panama City and fight on it. Unfortunately, I'll be out of the country, but we're getting a crop of guys that really want to fight, and it's super exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Super exciting.
Well, is there anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
All I'd say is I work a little bit with Rich. ALE. I'm repping the gear, his fight wear. It's pretty sweet. He hooked up my whole kit for that.
Yeah,
last
your shorts
fight.
look crazy.
I thought they looked pretty slick. The purple looked good with the gold, and I'm just happy to be working with him. I'm super thankful. I don't have many sponsors, but I have a few that have been super tight with me. Steve
Steve's a go.
R&R Automotive. He boosts up all of us. He helps out all the fighters. I was working at his shop for a while I was still in school. He's so helpful, and he's a member of our team. He's 63 years old, and he comes in there and does jiu-jitsu, and he loves it. So that's just proof that anybody can start at any age. And then other than that, man, I'm just happy that I have a gym and training partners, people that support me, and I think it's really only up from here. I think
for sure.
I think I'm going to have that belt for a long time, and I think guys like Colin, Tig, Cam, we're all getting belts soon, and then we're all going to be moving up. It's going to be a crop of us that's going to burst onto the scene in a pretty quick sequential order. So
yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Question on the belt: do you get to keep that, or just as long as you have it?
They're going to try and come take it from me. No, I keep it. I think if we fight for another one, they bring another belt,
Word? Okay.
That's crazy.
I didn't know, because I know there are some promotions where they're like, yo, that's the belt.
Yeah.
Don't mess that belt up.
Come take it from me.
Yeah. That's so sick, because then y'all's gym is just going to be full of them.
Yeah, eventually.
Just hanging from the rafters. Yep. Your social medias, if you want to plug them before we get out of here.
Mine's just John_Gunther. Simple.
Colin.Ray at Instagram.
Yeah, and that's Instagram. was a pleasure talking with y'all.
Yeah, dude, this was sick.
Having
Yeah,
us.
for
Love
sure,
this.
dude.
Oh, yeah.
Always a pleasure. You guys are welcome on anytime.
Yeah, for sure.
Before we get out of here, we're going to plug some of our sponsors. So we train at a different gym than y'all's.
Yeah.
Y'all's is awesome. Y'all's is in Milton. Theirs is at Remedy. I think it's just Remedy BJJ.
I think so.
Team Remedy.
Team Remedy
Team
BJJ.
Remedy,
Awesome page if you want to check it out. They got some great content. Y'all just dropped like a little, like, why do we train here trailer, which was pretty sick.
Yeah.
But if you guys want to train in Pensacola, you can't make it out there, or like maybe Pensacola's more your speed. Kazushi Club Pensacola off of Scenic. Kind of catty corner to, what is the run store?
Running Wild.
Running Wild. Right next to the Domino's. But it's an awesome gym to train at. We have open mat every Saturday at noon if you want to come train. I think if you're willing to make the time frame, you could go to both open mats. Because isn't y'all's at 10?
Yep.
So you could go 10
And then
to like 11:30, then drive over and do ours.
I'll have to do that. I'll have to drop in one Saturday.
That'd be dope because then maybe we'll have a chance because you're tired. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could use that if you want to go ahead and do that. But it is absolutely a dope atmosphere if you want to try the open mat just to check it out. It is free. We definitely promote cross training, so we'll have people from all over y'all's gym. We'll have in UFC fighters. We have people from the Academy of Pensacola, people from Foley, Gulf Shores, all over. What is the schedule for that again? I know it's Monday,
Wednesday, Friday mornings from 9 to like 10:30, and then Monday through Thursday is 7 o'clock, and Friday is 6 o'clock.
Yep.
So we just changed the schedule up, so it's a little more.
And Monday
uniform.
is like judo wrestling based training with Dakota Barlow. If they are not in Pensacola, a sister gym of Remedy, where could they go?
Panacea, baby. That's over in Foley. That is Tony Rayborn's spot. You guys have heard us talk about it. It's a great spot over there. Huge gym. They have all kinds of opportunities, whether it be, beginner classes, advanced classes, women's only classes, kids classes. They've got it all over there. They've got a huge gym and a great group of people. So if you're looking for something over kind of the Alabama area, want to get out of Pensacola for a little bit, or just go over for an open mat, definitely
And they
check
actually
out.
have two open mats because I was there Friday. They have a Friday night open mat at 6:30, and then they have a Saturday open mat. But they have I think the women's only open mat at 9, and then I think it's 10 and on for regular open mat. But they have a lot of opportunities if you want to cross train there as well.
Yeah, no.
And Rich.
Yeah, Wednesday nights. If you're over there on Wednesday nights, you'll meet Rich Chmielewski, who is the owner of a lifestyle experiment, who hooks up all of our no-gi gear, so all of our shorts and gi, or, rash guards and stuff. He's also rocking their hoodie
over here.
Yeah, they're doing all different kinds of shit, whether it be sweatpants and hoodies, or rash guards and shorts. Check out all their stuff at a lifestyle experiment on Instagram or alefl.com. You can sign up for their email list so you get updates on when all their new stuff is dropping. All that kind of good shit.
Was that those fight shorts that you trained in or you fought in? Were those like your signature series, or was that shorts they already had?
Those were the shorts he just released for the.
Okay, I wasn't sure because I saw them in the turquoise one.
Yeah, well, he's getting into screen printing, so a lot of custom. He added a lot of the logos and stuff on them, so they looked pretty sweet.
You should get a custom color.
I'm thinking so. I'm thinking we're going to have to come up with something, and he's creative, and I've loved how he's worked the brand. So I'd like to see what little opportunities we could come up with,
He's definitely a creative mind.
Yeah.
Damn right.
If, for whatever reason, you're 170 champ forever and you want to get an IF tattoo.
Where you going, dog?
Johnny Mumbles at Secret Ground Tattoo Studio. He's got a studio full of absolute killers. And he's also got a revolving spot in there for traveling tattoo artists. But Johnny does amazing work. He done your arm. And he's done some shit on me. My knee and up. He's basically done all that. And he's done some other work. But the work that he's done heals unbelievably quick.
Yeah.
And without any problem. I mean, he blasted my knee on a podcast. And it's as solid as can be.
Yeah.
And he's just good people to talk to. If you're trying to remember life because maybe your memory's fading, CTE, I don't know. But if you need to remember,
Go get
He can tattoo whatever you need to remember.
Yeah.
Like
Grocery
prescriptions or like names of family members, whatever it is.
Whatever it is, man.
But he's the people.
Good ass dude. And we just had a dope podcast with him.
Yeah.
So check that out too.
And he's got a apprentice coming up that's going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So check her out as well.
yeah.
Check out the page at Sacred Ground Tattoo Studio on Instagram, at Johnny Mumbles on Instagram. But dude, we can't thank you guys enough for coming on.
Oh,
Thank you. This is sick.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Absolutely a pleasure, honestly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Been a good ass time.
It's great talking with you, and maybe some more success, and we can run another one back. And
dude.
Let's go.
Yeah, just
Anytime,
don't ever
man.
lose again, or y'all are not invited on.
deal.
Let's go.
Hell yeah. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. We're getting the fuck up out of here. We love you.
Yee!